Hi, I'm Peter. I'm filmmaker and a board game enthusiast. As you can see, I also like LEGO Star Wars, and I have a quite nice little space base at my office. Yes, I'm an AFOL, but I'm not spending all my money on this hobby. Besides, LEGO Play protects my inner child. Shouldn't this be done according to most psychologists? A few years ago I made a small project combining LEGO, Star Wars and board game. LEGO has created a Star Wars board game already, but I wanted something more suitable for all the players. I will now show you the basic rules of this simple game. Enjoy! Since I'm not planning to put this project on any Kickstarter, I can share it with others who maybe want to make a similar game and play it at home. The game is set on a planet similar like Tatooine or Jakku. It's a hunt game where the goal for player A is to deliver an important package to the main city, and a goal for player B is to chase him and prevent the delivery of the package. The game is now calibrated for max 3 players, 2 chasing and 1 escaping, but you can play 1-to-1 or 4 players as well. Player A wins if he reaches the city, and players B and C win when they capture or kill the fugitive. Approximate play time for 3 players is between 2 or 3 hours. The difficulty level of these rules was tested with success even on 12-year-old players, so let it be the starting point for age. For maximizing fun, the game is taking place in 2 scales: the minifig scale for close combat fights and encounters, and the nano scale for movement on huge scale territory. Each player has to take care of the fuel level, represented on those modified kitchen timers. Vehicle condition represented here on this indicator. An inventory which can be attached to the speeder or ship when it's found throughout the game. For this presentation, I've picked a few original LEGO Star Wars sets, but you can use any other flying LEGO vehicles or just build your own custom ships. You can even use Mandalorian with Baby Yoda if you already have one. Good advice is to keep it in a similar scale to other players' sets. That's because in combat you are physically shooting each other, and the bigger the ship, the easier it is to hit. At the start, all players have the same amount of fuel and vehicle condition points. Additionally, each player is equipped with 1 blaster and 1 communicator. Ammo in this game is not limited, and you can find a second blaster or other useful items during the game. You can also use blasters that are already mounted on your ship, but it's not allowed to shoot more than twice per round. Okay, let's start. The fugitive, the player A, starts from the most distant place from the city. Players that are chasing him start from the 2 left corners. If you play 1-to-1, the chasing player starts from the middle of the map. If you play 4 players, you split fugitives onto 2 ships and they start from the same place, just as the single fugitive player. Each player has 3 actions in his round. First is always movement, 1, 2 or 4 stats. You could start all of those little bumps on LEGO blocks. Then you pick a card depending on where your ship is located at the moment. It can be a desert card, an encounter card, a fuel station card or a derelict ship card. And you read out loud what it says. Cards reveal random events that depend on your roll of a 6-sided die. The events can be good or bad based on your luck. After resolving the card's event, you can make a character action or pass. Each movement of 1 or 2 stats forward represents normal speed. You can also make a right or a left turn, but you aren't allowed to move diagonally. After this type of movement, normal speed, you have to decrease your fuel level by 1 point. If you decide to go extra super fast, you have one option: 4 stats forward boost. You cannot perform it if there is an obstacle in your way. In this case, a die roll will show you the amount of fuel loss. On a 1-to-3 roll you lose 2 points of fuel, and on a 4-to-6 roll you lose 3 points of fuel. In other words, normal speed is always -1 fuel point, and boost is -2 or 3 fuel points depending on your dice roll. Moving is possible only on beige or dark brown fields with studs. You can't move throughout flat fields without studs. It's possible to climb up on ascending fields. Going upwards this way you lose 1 additional fuel point. When going down, your fuel loss is normal. You can go down from higher places without any consequences, but only if you find diagonal bricks like this or this one. Each time you perform a move action on the beige desert area, you have to pick and resolve a desert card. As you mostly travel on a desert, it is the most common card, making the game more interesting. As you can see, the pile of the desert cards is the largest in the game. On dark brown fields, you don't pick any cards. As your fuel is the most valuable currency in this game, you will be searching for fuel station and encounters. Once you get there, right after your movement, you pick a card and resolve it. Here is an example of a card like this. If you have bad luck, you can find a station that is damaged or controlled by scavengers and Yavas. In this case, you will often have to fight. Place your character minifig next to a group of scavengers. The number of them is described on the card. Then you can start shooting. You have 2 shots. If you miss, you have to run away with nothing, and you usually get some damage done to your vehicle. If you hit the enemies, you can take everything from the positive side of the card, get your fuel and repair points, or attach found items to your speeder. Those round encounter stats are meant to represent villages, small settlements, or traveling dealers en route. When you step on this indicator, you can pick an encounter card and resolve it. Here you can find or trade very interesting items as binoculars, electric saws, or even empty fuel tanks. Thanks to those valuable items, you can extend the fuel points capacity of your vehicle and carry more fuel. Sometimes when the dice decide badly, the encounter can end with a new fight. Derelicts are abandoned wrecked large ships where you can search spare parts. They are very rare and usually located in difficult to reach places. Sometimes between desert cards you can find a sandstorm card. This card affects all players for 2 rounds. It mostly increases fuel consumption while traveling. Here on the desert you can find a terminal. When you are adjacent to it, you can take an action and close or open any another fuel stations to make them non-functional and make the journey more difficult to other players. A very nasty option. You can be even more rude to others and request an airstrike. Usually when placed, it damages vehicles and it can make crossing some areas more difficult, but not impossible. When you try to cross such an area, it deals you 2 dice worth of damage points. Here you can find very valuable items called coaxium or coaxium cores. As you know, it's a very powerful unstable fuel, which in the game can move you exactly 8 stats in a straight line for 1 move action. It can be used only once, and then you can find another one in different place on the map. It's forbidden to stock more than 1 coaxium in your vehicle. Now the final part, how to fight with other players. When 2 players are close to each other, the tension rises. If the chasing player approaches one stat that's adjacent to the fugitive, he can try to shoot. You use the longer measurement block to establish the distance between the ships. If you want to shoot from a shorter distance, you have to put your nanoscale pawn on top of the other player's pawn, so on the same stat. Once the fugitive is eliminated or when he managed to reach the city, the game is over. I'm aware that my game instructions may not be very accurate or my way of presenting it's far from ideal, but I hope that I will inspire someone to make their own modifications and developments. Good luck and thank you for your attention.